folks. Welcome back. Yeah, I know it's been a long time. 5 months, I believe. And this is not a model railroad video. So if that's what you came here for, hey, you saw the thumbnail, and that's really what it is. What we're going to talk about today, I'm going to show you, I got some recent video of the CSX W099 train that went by. Hey, it was kind of cool to me, being a fan of these bigger loads, and to actually see one was kind of cool. We're going to do that. I'm going to show you it go by, how I got a hold of it, and then, of course, a couple runs with Steve. I mean, why not? What's a rail fan video without some pictures of your son racing by on the train? So this happened on Monday the 14th. I happened to be watching the Lakeshore rail cam, and I'd heard some chatter because sometimes I'll sit here at work and listen to Broadcastify and have the cam off on another screen running in the background, so to speak. And I heard him talking about a high and wide. Didn't really know what it was, where it was, when it was, only that it was causing problems because it was slow, had to get out of the way, or had to wait and stop for other trains and all that kind of fun stuff. So he happened to go by. Let me see if this shows it. Okay, okay. First of all, put the brakes on. Let me go back. Where was I when the video that you're going to see? This is a timetable grab. I don't know how recent it is, but CP97, I was a little bit west of here. Now, the scale on this is way off, but he was stopped to the east of 97 on track one. He had to wait for two eastbounds to go by because apparently he had to stop while the other trains were going past him. Okay. So I initially ran out to see him. I was hoping to get him before 97 at just about a spot at QD 96, but I missed him. I mean, I barely, you'll see the video, I barely got to the Eaton Road crossing as the gates were going. His horn was blowing and he was coming. So I had to pull over real quick, took the phone, pointed it out the window of the car, and got what I could. It's terrible. There's a phone line there. There's guy wires in the picture. Anyway, after that, I turned around and I drove across the tracks and I saw he was stopping up by 97, which is over here. So he talked and said, "I'm stopping," and then he talked to the dispatcher, and the dispatcher said, "Well, you're waiting for at least one eastbound." Turned out to be two. Anyway, I drove around, and I'll show you on Google Maps where this is, so you have some grounding in reality here. And he was stopped, so I was able to go to another location a little bit west of 97. And I think 97 is right at the dividing line between I think this is the Lakeshore sub timetable, and the Erie West timetable is this. And so there's 97, and now we're going to be west of it. I was sitting, again, the scale on this is way off. This team track is still there, but it's not literally, this looks like it goes all the way out to Lake City. It doesn't. It's just a little tiny thing. So I was sitting right about here, west of 97. There's a curve there. Not much of one. You don't really see much, but you can kind of look at it and see it. And that's where I was. So I saw those two eastbounds go by. Then this guy came by, and it was interesting. So you'll see the video of that, and then I will conclude the video, which you don't have to watch. Obviously, you don't have to watch any of this, but a couple videos recently of Steve running by. For those that don't know, my son Stephen Bennett is a conductor for the Norfolk Southern, who runs the line right by where I live. I mean, the spot that I tend to go to, and you're probably getting bored of seeing if you've seen other videos, it literally is 5 minutes from home. So I can run over, get a video of them, get back home, get back to work, or whatever else is going on. So that is what we're going to see today. It's going to be interesting in that this is a pretty cool looking car. I'll try to put some photographs up so you can see it. Unfortunately, the photos I do have are just snips out of the video. I didn't actually take pictures of it, so excuse the poor quality of the photographs. But hey, when you're any port in a storm. So I was out. I had my cell phone. That's all I had. It's all handheld. So It's not no tripod, no monopod, no nothing. So hopefully it's interesting to see. And we will go. What's the next picture? Oh, so the first thing I did when I first saw him go by, this is a snap or a snip from the Lakeshore Rail Museum. You can see that in the upper corner here. Their camera. This is their east camera, and it's just about 11:55 a.m. So that's the generator actually going by. And I think one more, there's a little bit more of a close up of it going by. And then from the west camera, that's him going away. So I figured, okay, it's 11:55. I know on the NS, it takes about 30 minutes to get from this location that we're looking at right here to the spot out by my house. So I figured if I go out, it's roughly 30 minutes. Well, I did. I went out about 20 after 12. He never came by. This particular train never came by. He must have got shoved in Erie somewhere onto the north siding or something, because the video that I got of him wasn't until about 4:30 in the afternoon. And then the other video of him actually going by when he finally got to move after those two eastbounds was at about 5, I'm gonna say 5:45 or so, roughly. So he sat for a while somewhere. So the crews, I don't know if they must hate these jobs, but I know I did hear him chatter on the radio at about 5 o'clock. The crew was talking to one of the other eastbounds that went by and said they'd been on duty for 8 hours. And it sounds like they hadn't gotten very far, but a lot of stopping, a lot of waiting, et cetera, et cetera. So let's see what I can do in terms of showing you. I'm going to do a quick share of Google Maps to show you where in the world, Waldo, we actually are for this. All right, so here we are in the wonderful state of Pennsylvania. Here's the state here. This is where I'm going to show you so you get an idea of where we are. We're in the very northwest corner of PA. Zoom into beautiful Erie, Pennsylvania. That's where we are. Right along the lakeshore here is the CSX and the NS between Cleveland and Buffalo. And these particular videos are here. The very first one that I missed them. I literally heard him talking, left the house, drove over here. I pulled up to right here at this intersection. The gates were going, his horn was blowing. So I real quick pulled into tow road, pulled off, like I said, rolled down the window, shot across, and he went right by here. Okay, well that was terrible, but anyway, you'll see that. And then I turned around, drove across the tracks, and what he did was he pulled up. Let me zoom out. CP97 is right up here where there's a crossover. So I pulled over Eaton Road and I saw he was stopping. So I said, okay. So I drove up and I was listening to what's going on. He's going to wait for an eastbound or so. I came up Route 5. I looked where he was because you can pop up Getz Road here, the little cul-de-sac, and you could access the tracks up here. In fact, let me, hey, if that shows up. Like I said, you can come up here on Getz and kind of get out to the tracks. I'm not sure it's legal, but you can do it. But he was stopped, way up here. He wasn't very big, so he was up here, let's say up, by this field here. So that wasn't going to work. So what I did was I came up to here, I turned up 98, came underneath the CSX, came up Middle Road, you keep coming out, and then you go right to here. This road at the Fairview Nursery goes back to this crossing. Now it's private, but if you behave yourself, no one seems to bother you. So I parked here, like I said, which is to the west of CP97, which is up here. So that train was stopped up here somewhere before Getz Road, and I sat up here and waited for him. Now, when I was here, that's when the two eastbounds went by. Then I waited, and by the way, when I was sitting there waiting, the NS 315 did come by, and like a moron, I could have shot him from here across this. It would have been great, but I could have shot the train. He had a BNSF leader, and anyway, so he went by, and then the two eastbounds went by, and then this high and wide got permission to leave, and away he went, and I shot him coming across here because it's not a great location. I'll be honest with you, if you're going to do any type of artistic stuff, but yeah, for what I was after, it was fine. So That's kind of where in the world I was when I caught this train, outside of Erie, Pennsylvania, or over to the left-hand side, to the west. So that's it, and let's get into the videos and see what we can see. All right, this is the X364 chugging along here, not nearly as fast as that previous intermodal. And after this, hopefully that generator will go, but we shall see. Oh, the joys of rail fanning. Well, I had paused it expecting a DPU, but he didn't have it. Just a single unit, I guess. All right. Whew. I'm going to warm up quick. Let's see if the generator swings by. All right, here comes the generator. This is just a real long digital zoom. I'm going to walk back and try to get a side shot, but he is on the move. He's got to go out to, I think, QD 108, stop, shift his load, and then he's got to stop for anything that comes by him. So he was sitting there for those two eastbound. So let me stop and move back and see what he looks like. Okay. Trying to get back a little bit, so a little bit wider. Like I said, this is the W099, I believe. CSX engine 85 in the lead. And this is a generator. At least it looks like a generator to me. It's not a transformer. I know that much. I can identify those 9 times out of 10, but alright, let's see what it looks like here. That's a big one. Nice cabin on the back there, huh? I probably could chase him further, but why bother? I'm going home.
CSX train. He said he's got 15,000 tons, 2 in the front. He's got a DPU somewhere in the train. I don't know if he's in the train or at the rear of the train, but he's a big one today. Too bad they're not in that second engine.
Way by there, 310. Nice, thank you, sir. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll try.
And away he goes, off to Buffalo. Alright, sports fans, it is Sunday, September 15th, about 8:40 in the morning. There's a 310 coming. I was able to sneak over here because I heard them coming by, so let's see what we can see. The sun isn't great this time of day, but it's not terrible, so we'll see what we can do. Gonna move a little bit over here. Come down a wee bit. Sports fans, here it comes again. 3:15. It's about 3:45 by now on October 1st. Back at the spot. I think his mom is sitting back there too, so we'll see.